He thought he was rescuing a wild animal. He didn't know the wild animal was about to rescue him right back. The message came through at 2 a.m. A caracal had been found abandoned in a shipping crate at the port. No permits, no papers, no explanation. Just a terrified wildcat with those signature black tufted ears, golden eyes wide with fear, hissing at anyone who came close. The Wildlife Rescue Center was full. They needed a temporary foster, someone experienced, someone crazy enough to take in an exotic predator. Marcus had fostered before, injured owls, orphaned foxes, even a bobcat once. But a caracal? These weren't house cats. These were African wildcats that could leap 10 feet in the air and take down birds mid-flight. They belonged in the savannah, not a studio apartment in Seattle. But something in that photo they sent him, those eyes, that fear, he couldn't say no. If you're the kind of person who believes some animals come into our lives for a reason, if you've ever felt that unexplainable connection with a creature that wasn't supposed to trust you, then you're gonna want to see where this goes. Hit that subscribe button because stories like this don't come around every day. Just for 2 weeks, they told him, until we find a proper sanctuary. 2 weeks turned into something nobody expected. The first night was chaos. The caracal, who Marcus named Zara, refused to leave the crate. She spat and growled at every sound, her ears pinned back, her body coiled tight like a spring ready to snap. Marcus didn't push. He just sat on the floor across the room, talking softly, letting her know she wasn't in danger anymore. I know you're scared. I know this isn't where you're supposed to be, but you're safe now. I promise. Hours passed. Marcus fell asleep right there on the hardwood floor. When he woke at dawn, Zara was sitting just outside the crate, watching him. Not hissing, not afraid, just watching. That's when he realized something. She wasn't aggressive, she was traumatized. Over the next few days, Zara began to explore, slowly, carefully. She'd creep along the walls of the apartment, those massive paws silent on the floor, testing every corner, every shadow. Marcus gave her space, but stayed present. He'd sit in the same spot each day, reading aloud from whatever book he had, just so she'd get used to his voice. And then, one morning, it happened. Marcus was sitting on the couch, coffee in hand, scrolling through his phone, when he felt something. A weight. He looked down, and there she was. Zara had climbed up beside him, her body pressed against his leg, her head resting on his thigh. She was purring. Not the soft purr of a house cat, but a deep, rumbling sound that vibrated through his entire body. He didn't move. He barely breathed. He just let her be. From that moment, everything changed. Zara started following him everywhere. When he cooked breakfast, she'd sit on the counter watching his every move. When he worked from home, she'd drape herself across his desk, her tail flicking lazily across his keyboard. When he slept, she'd curl up at the foot of his bed, one ear always turned toward the door, as if she were guarding him. If you've ever loved an animal that wasn't supposed to love you back, you know this feeling. That moment when they choose you, when they decide you're worth trusting. It's not about training or treats, it's about something deeper, something that can't be explained, only felt. The rescue center called after 3 weeks. They'd found a sanctuary, a place with land, other caracals, everything Zara would need to live a proper life. Marcus knew it was the right thing. He knew she deserved more than his apartment, more than a life indoors. But when the day came to take her, something felt wrong. He loaded her into the transport crate that morning, his hands shaking. Zara didn't fight. She just looked at him with those golden eyes, calm, trusting, like she knew, like she understood. Marcus drove in silence, his chest tight. The sanctuary was beautiful. Huge enclosures, natural terrain, expert caretakers, everything a caracal needed. He carried the crate to the habitat, opened the door, and stepped back. Zara walked out slowly. She looked around, sniffed the air, took a few steps forward, and then she stopped. She turned around, walked back to Marcus, and sat down at his feet. She looked up at him and made a sound he'd never heard before. Not a growl, not a purr, something in between. A question. The rescue center director came over, smiling gently. Sometimes they bond so deeply with their rescuer that they don't want to leave. It's rare with wild animals, but it happens. You can try again tomorrow, or... She paused. Or you can keep her, with the right permits, the right setup. If she's chosen you, forcing her to stay here might do more harm than good. Marcus looked down at Zara. She was still sitting there, waiting, trusting, choosing. He thought about what his life would look like. The responsibility, the changes he'd have to make, the fact that nothing would ever be normal again. And then he thought about what his life would look like without her. 3 months later, Marcus had converted his apartment into a Caracal-friendly space. Climbing structures, reinforced furniture, a secure outdoor catio. He'd gotten every permit, passed every inspection. Zara had a life that was part wild, part home. And she was thriving. But more than that, so was he. Marcus had been living on autopilot for years. Work, sleep, repeat, no real connections, no real purpose. And then a wild cat showed up in a crate and reminded him what it felt like to be needed, to be chosen, to be loved by something that didn't have to love him back. People ask him all the time if he regrets it, if it's hard, if he wishes things were different. He just smiles and scratches Zara behind those iconic tufted ears. And he says, she didn't need me to rescue her. She needed me to let her rescue me. And honestly, that's exactly what she did. But here's what keeps him up at night sometimes. What if he had said no that first night? What if he had been too scared, too practical, too worried about what everyone would think? What if he never gave Zara the chance to choose him? Would she have found someone else? Or would she still be in that crate, waiting for someone to see her not as a wild animal, but as a soul looking for home? What would you have done?